upon a time, there was a guy in America called George Washington. This was a cat that crossed the Delaware that actually fought, not like these little fat boys that couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag, or they got big mouths and little peckers and they can't do anything, that play president. This is a real guy that fought. Read his farewell address. Don't become involved in any foreign entanglements. Basically, this crap's been going on for thousands of years, and we're not going to fix it. So going back to Trump, if he lives by that, there's not going to be the money coming into the UK, into Ukraine to keep this going, even though Starmer and Macron, the little Catzon, and the other guy, clown guy from BlackRock, that's the chancellor in waiting now in Germany, are going to give him more money. Without the U.S. support, it's not going to keep going. So what's going to happen? I believe there's a possibility that Ukraine is going to do something to escalate this war, like bombing a nuclear power plant, Russian oil facilities, doing something, a false flag, anything to get more support on this war. They're not going to back off. They're not going to back off. Remember, it's the neo-Nazis that are in charge over there. So again, just to make this clear, this is your Trends Journal back in 2014. The United States overthrow the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych, all in detail. So people have no idea about how this thing started, where it's going, and what's next. So it's a wild card. It's a wild card.
So Gerald, what do you think about Piers Morgan here saying that Russia are behaving like the Nazis? Putin, he's going to take Ukraine, then he's going to take Poland. Ukraine is an independent democratic country. Zelensky was elected by a landslide. What do you say to Piers Morgan?
I'd say, why would anybody listen to this little stupid piece of shit with a pair of balls probably smaller than a mothball and a pecker about that big? How could anybody be so stupid to suck up of the crap spewing out of this ballless little boy's mouth? He's nothing more than a prostitute. He's a media whore that gets paid to put out by his corporate pimps and his government whoremasters. Capiche? And again, I want to make this clear. You can look it up. I used to be on Oprah, The Today Show, Good Morning America, CNN, everybody all the time. Once you start disagreeing with the shit that they like to shove down people's throat to swallow, they don't want you on anymore. Look at all the people on the American media talking about peace. Find me one. Find me one. You're not allowed.
So Keir Starmer's talking about conscription and sending young British lads to the bloodbath to sacrifice themselves in Ukraine. What do you make of that?
If this wars continue the way they are, it's going to be the end of life on Earth. How moronic and stupid could the public be to listen to this crap about putting more money into the military? If it's war against Russia, it's going to be nuclear annihilation. Matter of fact, there's a place called Virginia Military Institute in America, a very top place. They brought me over there back in 2000. This is one of my books, Trends 2000, international bestseller, to speak about new millennium warfare. You got it? It's a whole different warfare. They're not fighting with bows and arrows anymore. Oh, all those aircraft carriers ain't worth nothing. It's a whole new world. The stupidity of putting money into the military-industrial complex. Again, when all else fails, they take you to war. Again, look at the little jerk-off you got over there running now. That's going to be running Merck, the guy in Germany. Germany's in a recession. It's in a recession. The third largest country economically in the world. Europe's largest economy in a recession. France's economy, the UK's economy, they're crap. We're going to put more money into the military. We're going to fight. Hey, could you imagine Starmer fighting? Could you imagine a little boy fighting a little Katso Macron? How could you be so stupid to swallow the shit coming out of the mouth of these clowns? How could you be so stupid? It will be the end of life on earth. Oh, and now Trump bombs away over Yemen? Yeah. Why, those dirty terrorists? Oh, why are they terrorists? Why they're bombing those ships? Yeah, why are they bombing the ships? To stop the genocide in Israel. Why, how dare you call it genocide? We could kill who we want. Hey, kill any Lebanese today? How many Syrians? All right. Now they're ramping up that war. They're ramping up the war against Iran. They're ramping up the war against Russia. You got maniacs in charge. What's your favorite war? You like World War II? No, I like World War I the best. I love the Peloponnesian War. Oh, the War of Roses was so lovely. Oh, hey, what's your favorite crusade? I like the 8th better than the 12th. All right? You got crazy people running the show. They're maniacs. Oh, by the way, I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate at 26 years old. Oh, there's me picking up Ronald Reagan. I had the picture, put on a brunch for 16 of our board of directors 2 days before he's announcing against Gerald Ford. He's going to run in 1976. Oh, I've been with the Prince of Norway. I've been with that little clown major one time. Yep, you got over there. I know what the show looks like. It's a freak show. It's a freak show.
Starmer's comparing himself to Churchill. Do you think Keir Starmer has the charisma of Churchill?
Yeah, a little scumbag bastard that should rot in hell. That Churchill? The Churchill? Oh, we hate those Iranians. Oh, yeah, Churchill hated him too, didn't he? Him along with Kermit Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt's grandson, great-grandson, the MI6 and the CIA that overthrew Mossadegh, the president democratically elected in Iran in 1953, because the only newspaper that printed this in 2017 was the Financial Times. Winston Churchill, MI6, and Kermit Roosevelt, the CIA, they overthrew the government of Mossadegh, brought in the Shah, and created the Savak, the secret police. Yeah, that made the SS look good. And you know why? Why, that dirty Mossadegh? He said that oil did not belong to Anglo-Iranian oil, better known today as BP, or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. And that scumbag Churchill, that little warmongering shit that could, and again, another little slob that couldn't fight, but they love war. Yeah, we got to overthrow the government. It's right there for everybody to read how they overthrew the Iranian government and how they still teach us to hate the Iranians because they got rid of the dictator, the Shah. That Churchill?
So, what are your thoughts on Netanyahu?
You mean Milikowski? The Ashkenazi? That was spelled with an N-A-Z-I at the end? That one? What do I think about a murderer? What are you kidding? It's disgusting. Oh, by the way, Trump is totally on the Zionism. It's a nationalistic movement. It has nothing to do with religion. Or is that what the guy Herzl invented it? What, in 1890? And I'm tired of hearing this fairy tale. Oh, they're bullshitting this crap out. They got that little clown they brought in, the United States head of the United States ambassador to Israel, Huckleberry, Huckle crap. God gave this land to Israel when he told Moses 3,500 years ago that this land belongs to the Jewish people. Hey, got some. What if I don't believe in this fairy tale that God told Abraham? Was God got lockjaw? I ain't talked to anybody else since. I got to believe this stuff. Hey, take it easy, man. What if I don't believe in your religion? Not telling you to believe in mine. I don't want to hear this fairy tale anymore. Oh, by the way, I launched the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice, and I have major rallies of peace. So my religion doesn't go along with your fairy tale. I mean, God told Abraham. Who are you talking to?
Well, if you say you want peace, you're just a Putin repeater. That's what they're saying here. You're just a communist. It's like McCarthyism all over again.
Anybody that wants to go fight and supports a war, pack up your stuff, put on your drag, go out there and fight, send your money, send your wife, your kids, your transgenders, go out there and fight or shut your mouth. Every one of you people and every one of you politicians that want war, that support it, go over there and fight or shut up. Got it? And again, I'm an American. I believe in George Washington. Read his farewell address. Don't love a nation, don't hate a nation. Because if you do, you become a slave to them. And that's all we are. Plantation workers of Slavelandia.
Yeah, the days of Marcus Aurelius are well over. Look at, I mean, Keir Starmer, he looks like a worm. He's so expressionless.
I know.
Pure evil.
Yep.
So did God give America free shipping lanes and the Panama Canal?
You know, well, you mean the United States when they killed all those people and made their own canal? What the hell are you doing down there? Everybody should read the book, going back to that time, War's a Racket by Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine in the history of America at the time. He goes on to say what was going on back then and how the United States was down in South America, going one country after continent after continent. Terrible. Oh, and Trump sold himself as a peace candidate, right? How about a piece of crap? Hey, I want that Panama Canal. Hey, give me Greenland. Hey, Canada, change your name. Oh, hey, wait a minute. What's he doing now? Peace candidate? He's threatening the Yemens, the Houthis. You see the stuff he's writing? You see what he's doing with supporting the genocide? Well, $4 billion of our money to go keep slaughtering innocent people? So he's two-faced. Maybe more than two. You know, I had lunch with his brother, by the way, back in 2017, his brother Robert. They had a restaurant across the river over here in Wassaic. And Trump was president back then. The brother goes on to tell me that when the father died, he left the family over $500 million worth of real estate. Like, right? Trump, like all the rest of these little boys, they're nothing more than little spoiled daddy's boy. Oh, don't believe me? You want to go up to Canada. You had that little Trudeau. We don't know who his daddy was. They say Fidel, but we're not sure. Maybe Pierre. Oh, you got this little Catzone that's now running for mayor in New York. He was the governor. My daddy was Mario Cuomo. You had another little jerk off. What's his name? Georgie Bush. With a brain smaller than a pea. Oh, my daddy was George Bush. My uncle was Prescott. It's one big club, all right? It's a crime syndicate that people call a government.
So, Gerald, we salute the work, the activism you're doing, you, Scott Ritter, etc., campaigning for peace. But some nights when you're contemplating human nature and corruption, does it not get you down to think that it's immutable? Human nature is corrupt, and there's always going to be these psychopaths rising to the top and just collateral damage. They don't give a shit. Halliburton, Cheney, Bush crime family, Clinton crime. It just seems to go round and round and round.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. To me, the only thing that I could see change it is a renaissance. Again, the Renaissance followed the Black Plague. Europe destroyed itself with its filthy sanitation. But it couldn't happen without the Medicis. You need the dough to make it happen. Could you imagine if the billionaires gave us $1 billion for a peace movement? We'd have it tomorrow. Not a penny for peace. Not a penny for peace. And by the way, you talked about Clinton. This is a T-shirt that I had made up when he ran for president, just to show you the way I feel about things, back in 1992. Could you see that?
Yes, yes.
Beware Slick Willie. And if you go to Trends Journal, you could get these T-shirts. Could you see that?
Yeah.
That's who they are. These are low-life pieces of shit that are running our world. They're low-life pieces of shit telling you what to do. So I'm a different kind of guy. I'm a lucky guy, man. I'm a Napolitano, born in the Bronx, right after the war. You're free to be yourself. I get in a fight, my father, may rest in peace. You say, you little bastard, you think I'm telling you what I'm telling you because I want you to be like me? I want you to become yourself. That was the America I grew up in. This is truly a land of opportunity. They robbed it from us. One criminal after another. I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I got a mind smaller than a penny. All right?
Viewers, wherever you are watching the world, whatever platform you're on, we have got Gerald Celente on. He's been forecasting trends for decades. He's nailed it with gold. And in the description box are links. We've got his YouTube channel. We've got his X. We've also got a 10% discount code on his Trends Journal. Rather than read the toilet paper of record, Wall Street Journal, which costs a fortune, Gerald's Trends Journal is a fraction of the price, and you get 10% off with the link in the description box. So, what hope do we have? Give us some hope. How do we break free from these mass murdering freaks, Gerald?
People have to get in the best shape they can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, said one of the founding fathers, Samuel Adams. Yeah, I'm irate. Don't tell me what to do. Who the hell are you to tell me what to do? And that has to be the attitude of the people. But you have to be in the best shape you can. And that's the way it could happen. And everybody do something positive in any way you can. You know, by the way, I want to make this clear too. We're very concerned about a dot-com bust. We believe there's going to be a crash in the NASDAQ. And China, love it, hate it, want it. Again, we're political atheists. We look at things for where they are. They're going to be taking over the AI world. With DeepSeek is just the beginning. Again, trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. And the AI trend has just been born in 2022. You don't invest all your money in the first invention of the automobile in 1886. And everybody overinvested in the first formulation of AI. And China's doing it a lot cheaper. And again, trend forecasters, what you do is you put the trends together. Again, Slick Willie brought China into the World Trade Organization. You make connections between different fields. So go back to 2000 before they got into the World Trade Organization. 10% of 18-year-olds in China went to college. Now, nearly 70%. They're all high-tech addicted. You got 1.4 billion people, all these young kids going to college to be AI addicted and high-tech addicted compared to what, 340-something million in America? So you go by the numbers. And then look how they want the H-1B visas to bring in cheap labor from China, India, and other countries into the United States. So you're putting this together. China's going to lead the world in AI. And AI, love it, hate it, it's the future. And it's the addiction of the future. Again, I say they got it wrong in the King James Bible when they said the meek shall inherit the earth. They misspelt it. The geeks have inherited the earth. Look at the freak show. Little Zuckerberg, Peach Eye. I mean, freaks in front of your eyes, Gates. I mean, that's where it's going. So we're looking at a dot-com bust. Gold prices continue. I've never seen gold. Here, this is my book, Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends, Time Magazine. I told you about what happened in Iran. That's how I became a trend forecaster. When they taught us to hate Iran, I started buying. I said gold and oil prices will go up, and I played the futures markets. I turned a $10,000 bet, $5,000 in each, almost $750,000 back in the late 70s. I lost a lot of the dough, a wild young guy, but that's how I became a trend forecaster. I started looking at things the way they are, not the way you want them to be. And all they do is teach you how to hate a country, like they're teaching everybody how to hate the Yemens, the Houthis. Oh, the Houthis that the Saudis try to kill, since they invented the Saudi empire, the kingdom. I love this word kingdom. I'm a king. Hey, if you're Italian, you call them the mafia, all right? What's this king shit? Oh, we don't pee or poo. Look at our little costumes that we put on. All right, so they invented this thing in 1934. The first thing that the Saudis tried to do was to slaughter the Houthis, which bordered them, all right? And then going back to Obama, the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, let's go back to 2011, 12, around there. When they started the war, the Saudis tried to overthrow the Houthis. Oh, and the United States was supplying the intelligence and refueling the Saudi planes to go slaughter, about 500,000 Houthis. But people don't know anything about that. Oh, and that little boy, Anthony Blinken, was the undersecretary of the time, state, going over to Saudi Arabia. And then he became the Secretary of State, a little clownly, a little jerk that gave us the Ukraine war and kept sending all the weapons of death to the Israel war. Again, it doesn't make a difference who's in office. It's a crime syndicate, just with different names.
How high do you think gold is going to go with this present rally where it's around 3K?
I would have never thought it would have raised this much this year so fast. Never again. I've been at this. My first buy of gold, I think, was like about 183 something an ounce, $183 back in the 70s, 78. This thing could go through the roof. I'm going to tell you another quick story and why it could go anywhere. Facts, only the facts. I was a kid, and my father, may he rest in peace, he said to me out of nowhere, I'm about 17 years old. He said, back in 1933, he said, I was dating your mother. They got married in 1934. He said, I go over to your grandfather's house, and he's packing up all his gold. He had a load of gold coins. I said to your grandfather, what are you packing those coins up for? He said, well, the president wants them. The president told us we have to return our gold. Franklin Roosevelt made the American people turn in all their gold in 1933. Remember, this is the Great Depression. When my father said, your grandfather started cursing at me in Italian when I told him not to turn it in. He turned in all the gold. The government bought the gold from we the people for about $20, I think, and 87 cents an ounce. I forget exactly how many cents, but it was about $20. A year later, 1934, they passed the Gold Reserve Act, and they raised the price of gold to $35 an ounce, 70% increase. They screwed the people out of the money, and they raised the price of gold when the government got it. Now let's go back. Where's gold going? Trump and Musk are putting out this BS. We're going into Fort Knox to see how much gold is in Fort Knox. Right? You hear him say that? Hey, yep. They already know how much gold is in there. It's a reality show. Oh, by the way, we own that trademark, presidential reality show, because that's what it is. So here's what they may do. They're going to say something like, we have more gold than any other country in the world by 10 times. And we're raising the price of gold. They're raising the price of gold so they could pay off their $36 trillion debt that there's no way in the world it could pay off. They may do something like that.
Well, didn't Adam Smith say in The Wealth of Nations that all great accumulations of debt end in bankruptcy?
The real debt level is about 220 trillion when you put in Social Security and all the other payments they owe. There's no way in the world they can pay this off. They also may come up with a digital currency because, again, you got Trump got what, over $100 million from the crypto club. They're going to invent anything. You know, as a trend forecaster, I always say nobody could predict the future. There are too many wild cards. And you get it wrong. I thought the markets would crash again in 2012. They didn't teach me about a thing called quantitative easing or zero interest rates in Economics 101 at graduate school. They'll make up anything. And I believe they're going to make up something with crypto, and they're going to go into, because again, it goes back. Everything's digitized. They'll know every penny you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on. Go to China, put your hand out. Poof, you got how much money you just spent. You know, your name and everything else. They're going to do away with currency from dirty cash to digital trash. But gold to us is the number one safe haven asset. And you can see it right in front of everybody's eyes. It could keep flying.
So we've had so many forecasters going back decades predicting the collapse of the dollar. I remember Doug Casey in the 1990s. Do you think it could unravel at some point because they keep propping it up, printing more money?
Yeah. Again, it's unraveling already. What is the dollar down? What, about 6% in the euro since it hit its high against Trump? Now the euro's up, the dollar's down. The tariffs are bringing it down. And again, when the dollar's weakening, the weaker the dollar goes, as I said, the higher gold prices go. And they're going to lower interest rates. Trump did it before, and he'll do it again. He did it when the markets crashed in 2018 when he was president. It was the worst December since the Great Depression. And in January 2019, Trump had Powell lower interest rates. Again, that great comedian, George Carlin. It's one big club, and you ain't in it. Miss Facha Brut, that ugly woman that used to be the U.S. Treasury Secretary. What was her name? Janet Yellen? Yeah, what was she before she became Treasury Secretary? Oh, she was formerly head of the Federal Reserve. All right. Trump will do what he wants with this. And he's going to do everything he can to prop up the economy because he's so heavily invested in it.
So does the present correction in U.S. equities go into bear market territory, or will Trump have interest rates reduced to send it back up again before we get a crash?
I think it's going to crash. He'll do it after it crashes, not before. Right now, you have the NASDAQ's in correction territory, and the S&P 500 is just a fraction away. It was in correction. Now it's just a little bit out of it. But we're looking more at a bear market. It's going to go down some over 20%. That's when they're going to do it. They're not going to do it now.
And then we've got India's economic growth around 8%, China 4-5%. Would you position yourself in Chinese, Indian foreign equities then, as opposed to US?
We don't give that kind of advice. So, and to us, that's not our specialty. Now, stock market, what to invest in, what's companies, et cetera. We look at the bigger picture of these things. We don't get involved in that. So, but we are saying there's going to be a dot-com bust. And when the dot-com bust, again, 80% of the NASDAQ was wiped out. 80%. But like you said, as I say, when all else fails, they take you to war. What happened? The war on terror. All right? Everybody forgot it.
Yeah, I was leveraged during the dot-com bubble. It didn't end up well for me. So, Rocky Mountain, who the F is the whole world in debt to? Good question.
The banksters. They own the world. Yeah, this is one of the covers of your Trends Journal back in 2011. Can you see that? Nothing's changed.
The temple scene.
Yep. Happy Easter. And 3 days later, man, he's on the cross. You don't mess with the banksters. You got it.
So this question comes up: who controls the governments? Is it the banks? Is it the technology companies? What would you say?
The banks and the military-industrial complex. Those are the ones. And yeah, it's nothing more than that to us. The tech comes in. They play their role, but now the banksters are in control. Always have been.
So what about big oil, big pharma?
And they're just part of the club.
All right, get your questions in, folks. I'm here with Gerald Celente. We've got another 20 or so minutes to go for the hour.